WWF, what the world is watching. Turn it on and rip the knob off.
Guys, and welcome back to the Wrestling Memory Grenade. Now at episode 183. I am Ray Russell, and you are not imagining things. This is a brand new episode of the Grenade here in 2026, kicking things off in the new year. It's great to be back. We had some trials and tribulations to work our way through over the last couple months. I want to thank everyone for their support and their patience. We are back, guys, and I'm not going to bore you with all of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on right now. You can check that out on some of the other podcasts that are coming. But right now, guys, we're going to dive back into the end of February in 1989. Last we left off, it appeared the Mega Powers were no more. Randy Savage seeing the lust in the eyes of the Hulkster, leading to the implosion of the Mega Powers right there on NBC as part of the main event as they battled the Twin Towers. The lovely Elizabeth going down to, Randy didn't mean it, Liz, is what the Hulkster said, but unfortunately, Randy had no option. He was used as a projectile thrown out of the ring by the Twin Towers onto the lovely Elizabeth, knocking her seemingly unconscious for a good period of time there. Hulkster out there to quote-unquote save the day, taking Liz to the back, but Randy knew what was really going on there. We're going to talk about that, just catching you guys up on what's going on right now in the big storyline leading into WrestleMania 5, and we're going to hear all about WrestleMania 5 throughout this episode. So without further ado, we go back right now to the February 25th edition of the WWF's Superstars of Wrestling. Here we are, Superstars, 2/25, February 25th, tape back January 24th, Tucson, Arizona at the Convention Center. Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura on the call as we go to the ring. Feature match time. It is still February sweeps, which means we get a feature matchup. And this week it is Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig, taking on the Red Rooster. Terry Taylor strutting his way to ringside as we get an insert promo from the Brooklyn Brawler, who is holding the current edition of the WWF magazine. Must have stolen it from a newsstand somewhere there in Brooklyn. Brawler comes to an article on who else but the Red Rooster. You see, you don't have to know how to read to understand the pictures. Brawler, disgusted by the article on the Rooster, rips the magazine right in half. Oh, the fiend. Brooklyn Brawler, Red Rooster. Yes, it's still a thing, guys. It's going hot and heavy right now as we head into WrestleMania season. Meanwhile, we go back to the ring. Bell sounds. We are underway. Back and forth action here from Curt Hennig and Terry Taylor. Eventually, it is the Red Rooster who runs into a perfect boot in the corner, though. And it gets even worse for Terry Taylor from there as we see Bobby Heenan and the Brooklyn Brawler make their way to ringside. Oh, look out, Taylor. Rooster, though, comes battling back in the ring, but eats a perfect drop kick. And as the referee becomes distracted, the Brooklyn Brawler gets involved attacking the Rooster from behind. But when Steve Lombardi, the Brawler, turns to gloat to the fans, Taylor is quickly back on his feet, blasting the Brawler from behind, and the fight is on, but not between Hennig and Terry Taylor, but rather the Brawler and the Red Rooster. And they take that fight out to the floor, somehow leading to a countout. The Red Rooster counted out while brawling with the Brawler. Match goes only 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And as the Brooklyn Brawler finally takes off from ringside, the Red Rooster returning to the ring to plant Hennig with a big punch that sends Curt Hennig for a flip. Great bump there, as always, from Mr. P. But February sweeps coming to an end here, and while not much of a match what little we did get was pretty fun. Of course, this was more about the Rooster-Heenan Brawler feud, and yes, guys, Mr. Perfect keeps his perfect record intact.
Absolutely perfect.
All right, Red Rooster continuing his feud with the Brooklyn Brawler, and even more directly, his feud with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Mr. Perfect still undefeated. As we head off now to Update and Mean Gene Okerlund. New matches added to WrestleMania 5.
All right, folks, here we go with your special report. It's going to be a reunion of sorts for many of us. WrestleMania 5 from Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino on the New Jersey Shore in Atlantic City. When? Sunday afternoon, April 2nd. Remember, the big one has been signed. The W champion Macho Man Randy Savage to defend against challenger.
From the pages of the World Wrestling Federation magazine, here's Update.
All right, here we go again, gang. WrestleMania 5 from Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, Sunday afternoon, April 2nd. Remember, the big one has been signed between the World Wrestling Federation champion Macho Man Randy Savage defending against challenger Hulk Hogan. And by the way, later on this hour, we'll hear from both the champion and the challenger. What a difference a week makes. 4 more exciting matches have been signed for WrestleMania 5. Strikeforce, Tito Santana, and Rick Martel have been reunited for WrestleMania 5. They'll meet the Brainbusters, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson. Hercules to meet King Haku. The Fabulous Rougeaus, Jacques and Raymond, are going to be facing Luke and Butch. The Bushwhackers, Bad News Brown, going against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Now remember, the Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior, will defend also against Ravishing Rick Rude. More world titles, the WWF Tag Team Champions, Axe and Smash Demolition, meet 3 men in the Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian, and their manager partner, Mr. Fuji. That's 2 against 3, folks, any way you count it. WrestleMania 5, Sunday afternoon, April 2nd, from Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Certainly more to come next week. For Update, I'm Gene Okerlund.
All right, we hear once again, we heard it last week on Primetime. We hear it again this week. The Mighty Hercules scheduled to take on King Haku, a member of the Heenan family at WrestleMania. Also, the Fabulous Rougeaus, the All-American Boys, taking on those evil foreigners, the Bushwhackers. Of course, that was also announced on Primetime. Now, this week on Superstars, we do learn some new matches as well, including Bad News Brown battling Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's a brawl for the ages. And the Brainbusters are on tap. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard to take on the reuniting Strikeforce. Tito Santana and Rick Martel, former tag team champions here. And the World Wrestling Federation taking on former NWA World Tag Team Champions, the Brainbusters, part of WrestleMania, plus a special Run DMC WrestleMania rap is promised as part of the event. And I should note last week on Primetime, they also announced a match between Dino Bravo and Ronnie Garvin for WrestleMania. We don't hear that here this week on Superstars as of yet, but I do believe we have 10 matches announced and more still to come. So stay tuned, guys. More matches coming in the days ahead as we go off now to vignette number 3 in the $1 Million Man's search for the $1 Million belt. Back to Betteridge Jewelers one last time for perhaps the unveiling of the $1 Million title.
I'm here! I'm here! The $1 Million Man is here! And I want my belt. I want to see my $1 Million belt. Where's Terry Betteridge? I want to see the $1 Million belt, and I want to see it right now. Show it to me, show it to me. I want to see it now. I want to see it now.
Mr. Dibiase, finally we have a creation worthy of the $1 Million Man. It's our finest creation. There's months of work here.
Let me see it. Let me see it. It's mine. It's mine. The most magnificent belt ever created, and it's mine. Finally a possession worthy of the $1 Million Man. A possession to go around the most magnificent waist in the entire wrestling world, and it's mine. Finally, something that will show the entire wrestling world just how truly great I really am.
Well, the time has come, the unveiling of the $1 million title belt. Ted Dibiase wants to see the finished product. Owner Terry Betteridge says it is now worthy for Mr. Dibiase to wear a title fit for the $1 million man. And as the belt is revealed in front of Dibiase's eyes, the camera showing Ted's face here glowing, beaming, as he stares down a maniacal look with an equally maniacal laugh, like a mad scientist. Finally, Ted Dibiase has something that will prove to the world just how great he is. As for the title belt, never seen here in this vignette, only Ted's expression, his response, leaving more suspense for the fans at home when the $1 million belt is revealed to the masses. The $1 million title belt is upon us, everyone. Stay tuned. As we go back to the ring now for the Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior, battling Dusty Wolf. We get an insert promo from Warrior Man's current challenger at WrestleMania, Ravishing Rick Rude, who encourages UW to lap it up right now, Warrior Man, because come WrestleMania, Rick Rude will be the new Intercontinental Champion. Meanwhile, in the ring, it is total domination from the Warrior on Dusty Wolf. Big clothesline, setting up the Gorilla Press drop and the big splash. Going to give Warrior the win, 2 minutes and 1 second. The champion looking ready for Rick Rude and WrestleMania. Dusty Wolf, though, no ravishing one. As we go off now to the event center, Sean Mooney standing by with the Brainbusters and their manager Bobby Heenan talking all about their upcoming matchup with Strikeforce.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean Mooney. The news throughout the WWF is WrestleMania 5. It will take place Sunday afternoon, April 2nd, starting at 4 p.m., live from the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Strikeforce to be reunited. They will face the Brainbusters. Right now, they are joined by Bobby Heenan.
Well, Strikeforce, you think you're dealing with a bunch of idiots here? I know you're back, Martel, and you're in the best shape of your life. Just look at you. But have we seen you and Santana together? No. You're trying to pull something off. I know there's been a lot of money put to stop the Brainbusters. It's not going to happen.
You know, when the WWF signed the contract, Brainbusters versus Strikeforce, WrestleMania 5, I guess Arn and I were supposed to just quiver and go and run and hide and not show up. Well, I guarantee you, Trump Plaza, we're going to be there with bells on, because the Brainbusters, the tougher the competition gets, the better we get. Because that's why Bobby the Brain got us. We are the best. It's a tribute to you, Bobby, and it's a tribute to us that the WWF feels we're so good and on such a roll that they got to get a couple of ringers to throw it in and put a wrench in what we're doing. But when we told you we came here, we were hired to do a job. It was win matches and bring that gold home to Bobby Heenan's family. We do what we say we're going to do, because we are perfectionists. What a better platform to show you just how good we are than WrestleMania 5.
Well, Strikeforce will reunite Rick Martel back and better than ever, but the Strikeforce, they haven't teamed in a long time, the duo points out here, but stating the tougher the competition, the better the Brainbusters get. And that's a sure bet, guys, as we go back to the ring for more tag teams here at the World Wrestling Federation, specifically the fabulous Rougeau brothers, Jacques and Raymond, with manager Jimmy Hart in their corner, taking on Steve Stone and Stéphane De Leon. We get an insert promo here from Luke and Butch, the Bushwhackers, who are coming after those bloody Rougeaus at WrestleMania 5. In the ring, Steve Stone got a surprise early with a sunset flip, but he doesn't get much else in. So he tags in De Leon, who eats a nice dropkick, Jacques Rougeau dropkick to the face, that is, of Stéphane De Leon. And the Rougeau bomb, going to put De Leon down, 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Rougeaus and Bushwhackers. Well, it's got to start somewhere. They're going to beat it to death for the next year. Right now, we get a WrestleMania 5 bumper. It is coming April 2, pal. Before it's back to the ring singles action this time, we see Iron Mike Sharp waiting his opponent, Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Iron Mike versus Rugged Ron. Garvin offering a clean break early on up against the ropes, but the Iron Man sneaking in a shot to take control.
Oh, okay.
Of course, this only pisses Garvin off, who retaliates landing a nasty Garvin stomp all around the body, complete to the face of Iron Mike. Pile driver from Garvin on the big Mike Sharp, standing splash for the cover, giving Ronnie Garvin the win, 1 minute and 56 seconds. Oh my gosh, Garvin boots all over the body of Mike Sharp. Can you imagine how long it took him to wash that off? And though announced on primetime, as I pointed out, even during this matchup, the Ronnie Garvin-Dino Bravo match for WrestleMania is not mentioned here on syndicated TV this week. So Vince and Jesse using this match to discuss the lovely Miss Elizabeth and whose corner she will be in come WrestleMania, the Hulkster or Randy Savage, which is a perfect segue for my side of the story, part 2. It is part 2 of the Macho Man side of the Mega Powers implosion.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, I remember the time that you came up begging to me, that you needed Elizabeth to walk down that aisle with you for extra inspiration because you were going against King Haku and you were worried, Me being unselfish, said, Hulkster, go ahead, do the thing, But right away, you had to try to make a fool of the Macho Man Randy Savage by holding the ropes open for Elizabeth to try to show the whole world what a gentleman I'm not. You made a fool of me right there, but I'm telling you, you stopped Elizabeth for what she's supposed to do, and that's do her job. Hold the ropes open for the Macho Man, Well, I'm telling you, Hulk Hogan, that ain't nothing compared to what you did, because later in that same match, the ultimate humiliation that ever could be, when you snuck up behind my manager, Elizabeth, who was unsuspecting to the fact that you got lust in your heart, her up and put Elizabeth where she has never been before, on top of another man's shoulders. Hogan, I swallowed that one too, only because I thought that Elizabeth wanted to keep the Mega Powers together, and we were together again. Hit the Survivor Series, Where were you? Handcuffed to the second rope, resting outside the squared circle while the Macho Man was meeting everybody head on and single-handedly brought us to victory, But then after the Survivor Series, you, Hulk Hogan, had to stoop lower than even you have ever done before, More proof, Hulk Hogan, that you got lust in your black heart for Elizabeth, and you got jealousy for the World Wrestling Federation champion, trying to steal the thunder of the champion while at WrestleMania 5, You won't steal my thunder, no, and you won't steal my manager Elizabeth, because she's gonna be in the Macho Man's corner, and you're not gonna steal the World Wrestling Federation championship belt. Oh, no, you're not, Hulk Hogan, no. Because when I climb through those ropes, and when you take a look at the Madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage.
The story continues into the fall of 1988 here as Randy Savage continues to recount his version of things here with the Mega Powers. Macho Man recalling the time that the Hulkster begged Randy to allow Elizabeth to escort Hogan into a match on Saturday night's main event against King Haku. We even see clips of that moment here during the package as Savage complaining that Hulk Hogan wanted to show off by holding the ropes open for Elizabeth as she entered the ring, when it is her job, in fact, to do that for the Macho Man. But it was after the match that Hogan did the unthinkable. He took Miss Elizabeth to a place she's never been before, on the shoulders of another man. Well, at least she wasn't facing... Never mind. We do see a clip of Hogan surprising Liz from behind, grabbing her, sitting her up onto his shoulder. Not cool, dude. Fast forward to Survivor Series time when Randy Savage came out victorious, all on my own, no help from Hogan, who was handcuffed to the ropes, so says the Macho Man. But post-match, it was Hogan celebrating the win, joining and hugging Elizabeth and putting her on his shoulder once more. But at WrestleMania 5, Hulkster, Savage says, "You will not steal my thunder." The lovely Miss Elizabeth, nor the WWF title. Then the sunglasses come off, and macho madness is in the eyes of Randy Savage here in some of the best hype pieces, promos, and realistic lunacy I've ever seen. Amazing sell job from the Macho Man. Dig it! Aha! So the Mega Powers storyline continues on. I love these back and forth story pieces. I know we've got at least one super fan out there, one follower for a very long time now, Benji out there. He's not a big fan of these back and forth hype pieces. He thought they were corny. But going back and watching this and the effort that both Hogan and Savage put into these things, job well done. As we continue on the action in the ring, back to the action, it is handicap match time. 1 man versus 2, although the 1 man is the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, Bobby Heenan by his side. The Giant's opponents this week, Jimmy Powers and Tito Santana. That's an interesting pair. Okay. See what we got here. We do get an insert promo from Big John Studd referencing his refereeing job here coming up at WrestleMania when Andre battles Jake the Snake. Studd pointing out that he can't be pushed around as a special enforcer referee. So Andre's going to have to get this W on his own against Jake the Snake Roberts. Meanwhile, in the ring, the Giant having his issues here with Santana and Powers early as he's trying to maintain 2 quicksters in there. But he does manage to drag them both into a single corner and begin to work them over. But with Andre in control, we hear a familiar theme music begin to play, the one of Jake the Snake Roberts. And Jake's voice begins to play over the house speakers. Roberts reminding Andre that both Jake and Damien have their eyes on the 8th wonder of the world leading into the pay-per-view. Now, a concerned Andre here grabs both men, Tito and Powers, in a bear hug, perhaps to regroup mentally. The babyface duo, though, able to break free, and it's Santana for a sunset flip. It doesn't appear Andre's going to go over, though. That is until Jimmy Powers with the assist. Drop kick on Andre sends Andre over into Tito's sunset flip. And then Santana and Powers both jumping on top, making the cover. 1, 2. Wow, close call there, but the Giant does kick out. And thus, Andre decides it's time to end this. The Giant treating Powers as a projectile, whipping him into Tito. The impact sending Santana through the ropes to the floor. And down goes Jimmy Powers center ring. Andre dropping the big elbow on Powers for the win. 3 minutes and 45 seconds as Andre attempting to celebrate. Again, we hear Jake's voice over the speakers, reminding Andre that the Snake and Damien are never too far away. Well, lots to unpack here as we hear from Big John Studd, the referee of the Jake-Andre match at WrestleMania. Then Jake playing mind games throughout the match with the Giant here, which was new and fun, no doubt about it. All the while, Andre working a handicap match, much like John Studd did recently on some of the other syndicated TV. Obviously setting up what will likely be future matches, Andre versus Studd, post-WrestleMania. Yikes. Maybe equally as wow here, though, is Tito Santana, used here essentially in that Paul Roma role. And I have no idea if there had been plans to do the Young Stallions here or what the deal was, but Santana had never been placed so low on the totem pole than he was this week, as part of a 2-man team losing to 1 man. And yes, I get it's Andre the Giant, but still, guys, even though Tito wasn't the one who was pinned here, he didn't exactly dominate here either. Pretty odd placement for a guy being announced as reuniting Strikeforce against more members of the Heenan family at WrestleMania. Very interesting booking indeed here for Tito Santana, but lots of to unpack in regards to the Andre storyline. Obviously, setting up the dynamic of Studd as the referee, but also setting up, foreshadowing Andre and Studd post-Mania. But I love the little inserts of Jake cutting promos over the speakers during the match. I don't know that the WWF had really done that before. Very unique for the time, very clever, and a great job. As we continue telling that story leading into the pay-per-view, we go off now to the Brother Love Show. His guest this week, Axe and Smash, the current tag team champions, Demolition.
Brothers Axe, Brothers Smash, WrestleMania 5, you will be defending these belts against the Powers of Pain and idiots are still in the first grade. And we graduated with 3 PhDs. 1 in teeth kicking, 1 in smashing heads, and 1 breaking bones. So Fuji, the bottom line is, when you stand in the middle of the ring and we get rid of your idiots, X is gonna be over there, and I'm gonna be over here. And you know what, Fuji the Stooge? It's time to take the teacher to school. Isn't that right, Axe?
Now you got your big fat rat. You gotta put up some bait. You gotta make it stick out his neck. This gold belt is the bait because Fuji wants him so bad he can taste them. The ring's gonna be the trap. And when we put him in the trap, we're gonna grab him right around his neck, squeeze that little fat rat till his eyes pop out.
Well, do you realize that it will be 3 against 2 and that any of those 3 can beat either of you 2 and be new tag team champions?
We're not any fools. You sound like a real estate agent we talked to. He sold us 2 houses way down at the end of Elm Street. And you know what? When Freddy Krueger wants to come home, he's got to get permission from us.
Whoa, Action Smash Demolition.
Brother Love suggesting that the Demos, their former manager, Mr. Fuji, taught them everything they know. And Smash, he concurs. But that only took them so far. The Demolition have a master's degree in demolishing and destroying the competition. And while the Powers of Pain are still complete morons, it's time the Demos take their teacher to school. Axe also promising the Demolition will walk out of WrestleMania still tag team champions. Well, the visual looks amazing when you think about it across the ring from each other. Demolition versus the Powers of Pain. But the setup, the turn, the swerve, bro. It took weeks of explaining on TV. And when you have to explain something that much, it probably wasn't the best execution to begin with. And it really doesn't help. The follow-up has been very lackluster. Outside of this past Monday's beatdown on primetime, Powers of Pain beating down Demolition after a matchup the two teams had. Adding Mr. Fuji to the match, a handicap match for the tag team titles, it does give the Demolition a chance at revenge and make it more of a spectacle than a good match at WrestleMania. But I can't help but think they would have never done that to begin with if they felt this feud, this match, Powers of Pain versus Demolition proper, had legs to stand on its own. It's truly unfortunate given the men involved. They dropped the ball from day one, really on the Powers of Pain, but more specifically on this feud, this turn and everything involved with it. But again, you go back to the visual before the bell rings, and it's an amazing sight to behold. And Mr. Fuji thrown in there, he's going to be the one taking the bumps, you have to imagine. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. We got a lot of managers getting involved at WrestleMania. Right now, we go back to the ring for Greg the Hammer Valentine with his manager, Jimmy Hart, by his side, taking on Omar Atlas as the grizzled veteran Atlas in here, landing an arm drag early on, but Hammer going to cut him off quickly, working the leg of Omar, leading to that shin guard-assisted figure 4 leg lock, getting a relatively quick win for a Valentine match. Goes 1 minute, 59 seconds. And it was just a little bit ago, we heard from the other side of the story talking about Randy Savage. Now we go back to my side of the story once more, part 2 from the Hulkster.
I can't believe, Macho Man, that you would call me sick, brother. The more I look at this edited footage, the more I see how you've changed this whole story around. It's like you stuck a blade in my gut and you're twisting it over and over and over. You make me sick, Macho Man. It was your idea, brother, this King Haku thing, to keep the Mega Powers together, even if we weren't physically all together as 3. It was your idea, brother, to send Liz down to the ringside with me, to stay in my corner for moral support. And as far as me embarrassing you, brother, this is the first time I'd ever been out there with it by myself. I just did what came natural to me. When I was on the apron with the First Lady of Professional Wrestling, all I did was treat her like a lady when I lifted the ropes for her. And as far as a post-match celebration goes, when my hand was raised in victory, it was like you were right there with me. It was like we were both celebrating the victory. And as far as Elizabeth, she was the one that was leading the chant. She was the one that had all the Hulkamaniacs up on their seats. Brother, all I know is 1,000 times I've seen you put Liz on your shoulder. All I was doing was the exact same thing you would have done if you'd have been there. That's all that was going down. The next time we were together as a team was a Survivor Series, and your version of that is so far from the truth, Macho Man. I don't even know how you can look at your own self in the mirror every morning. The way it went down, brother, is we had our back against the wall. We were in more trouble than we'd ever been, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw the slickster manhandle Elizabeth. That's when I decided to make the move, to make the save. And after I saved her, Macho Man, I was triple teamed. I was handcuffed to the bottom rope. But thank God Liz was thinking, part of the Mega Power team. She got the key from the slickster man. Let me go. And once on the apron, brother, the Mega Power survived. Our hands were raised in victory. And the first thing I did was go and check you out, man, to make sure that you were still with me. The celebration at the Survivor Series, Macho Man, was so pure, so innocent, such a clean-cut victory. I thought we were on our way to the moon, brother. Little did I know as I viewed the match later, I saw that look in your eye, man. I saw that when I had you and Liz's arms raised in victory. I saw the way you pointed at me, man. Right then, I knew the jealousy had set in like a cancer that could never be cut out. But now, brother, as the cancer grows, I'm not going to let it eat me alive. I'm headed down to the ring, WrestleMania 5, with nothing but my little Hulksters on my mind, brother. The Hulkamaniacs, they've given me courage. They've given me strength, man. They've given me power to beat insurmountable odds. I'm going to use all those things against you, Macho Man, in WrestleMania 5. One so gifted as myself, one that's received so many blessings from all my little Hulksters. It's time to give it all back, brother. And in WrestleMania 5, when the Macho Man meets Hulkamania, brother, the explosion of the Mega Powers is going to be people lifeless in their seats. That's when I'll give the power back to my Hulksters. That's when I'll give back every ounce of energy they gave to me when I pinned your shoulders to the mat in Trump Plaza, Macho Man. What you gonna do when Hulkamania and the new champion runs wild on you?
Well, Hogan going to counter the comments made by Randy Savage earlier on in the program. Hogan continuing to accuse the Macho Man of editing the footage, brother, retelling the story. It's like a blade in my gut, man. It was Macho Man's idea for Elizabeth to accompany Hulk at Saturday night's main event in his match against King Haku. And as far as opening the ropes for Elizabeth, Hulk just did what came natural, dude. Well, apparently putting a woman on your shoulders comes natural too. And the Hulkster doesn't stop there, continuing on, stating that he put Liz on his shoulder because that's what Savage would have done. Newsflash, brother. You're not the Macho Man. That's not your lady. Keep your hands off her, pal. And anyway, we go back to the Survivor Series time. Hulk Hogan getting handcuffed, pointing out because he was being ganged up on 3-on-1, brother, and he took them all out. But when they emerged victorious, the first concern for the Hulkster was checking on the Macho Man. Yep, took all of 3 seconds there. Way to go. Way to be, man. What a good friend that Hulkster is. As he talks more about the Macho Man's accusations about Elizabeth, he says, those accusations are from pure jealousy, man. And now with the strength of his Hulkamaniacs, it's time for Hulk to give back to his fans. At WrestleMania 5, the Hulkster will be the, once again, WWF champion. Now, I'm not always a fan of all Hulk Hogan promos. Some, though, so over the top, they're just really fun. Some are that typical Hulk Hogan stuff, which really never did it for me. But many of the big ones, the most important ones, can land a home run. And I say great job here this week by both Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage as they continue to build the buy rate for WrestleMania 5. And then we go back to the ring singles action. Going to see the Mighty Hercules take on Lou Fabiano. We get an insert promo here from Bobby Heenan and King Haku, still insisting that Hercules is nothing more than a slave, and he will bow and kneel before the king come WrestleMania. Meanwhile, in the ring, the Mighty One overpowering Fabiano with ease. Lou trying to trap Herc in a bear hug, which is comical, but that doesn't work out so well, does it, Lou? Hercules Herc's up here, and it's the torture rack backbreaker getting the submission win for the Mighty One 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Hercules ready for the Heenan family at WrestleMania as we go off now to the Event Center. Sean Mooney with Bad News Brown talking about his upcoming match with Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Welcome back, folks. It is not too early to start making plans to see WrestleMania 5. It will happen Sunday afternoon, April 2nd, live from Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City with a 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. And it is going to be an afternoon you will not soon forget. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he will take on Bad News Brown, the big bad man from Harlem.
Hacksaw Jim Dummy, what makes you think that you can do in WrestleMania 5 what 19 spineless cockroaches couldn't do last year, huh? You actually think that you can get into the ring there, you can get down in that football stance and come running across the ring and I'm gonna stand there? Well, I guarantee you one thing, the only person that's in big trouble in that ring will be the referee, because you are a legend in football. You are a legend. Everybody knows about you. They know why they threw you out of football, because you had this nasty downright habit of tackling your own football teammates because you can't see. So I tell you one thing, Hacksaw Jim Dummy, when you come in there with that 2x4 and you start swinging it around, I'm going to put the ghetto blaster on it. I'm going to put the ghetto blaster on you. I know you're a goody two-shoes. You got the American flag waving it around. I know all the fans like you and they don't like me. Well, personally, I don't care if they like me or not, because I only have one thing in mind, and that's to come into that ring and defeat you. That's to come into that ring and beat you into the ground. That's to come into that ring and make you wish that you was never born. That's to come into that ring and make you go home and slap your mother.
Well, Bad News talking Hacksaw Jim Dummy there and his WrestleMania 5 match. Just can't get that right, can you, Bad News? Took a year and he still can't get it right. Speaking of a year, Bad News referencing last year's Battle Royal, stating that if 19 guys couldn't get it done, what makes you think you can get it done, Jim Dummy? Ghetto Blaster for the 2x4, Ghetto Blaster for Hacksaw coming at WrestleMania. And if that wasn't all, Bad News promising to slap Duggan's mother. Ow. And that's going to conclude this week's Superstars as we learn next week on the program more matches to be announced for WrestleMania 5, plus the Tag Team Champions Demolition in action here next week, along with Ravishing Rick Rude, the Hart Foundation, Brooklyn Brawler is going to be here, as well as Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Twin Towers, more, even more, from Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage as they continue to tell their sides of the story, plus the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, promising to reveal his $1 million title in front of the world right here as part of the Brother Love Show right here next week on Superstars. Going to be a big month of March leading into WrestleMania. And if you couldn't tell, it is indeed WrestleMania season as the insert promos are in almost every match. Got to get everything over. The wrestlers also featured here this week in action. They had all of their matches for the pay-per-view already announced. So they focused hard on that. Very clever booking. And a little more from the Rooster Heenan storyline, the Andre Jake Stud angle, and of course the awesome build to the explosion of the Mega Powers. The TV matches, an afterthought, which is typically what TV was meant to be. Can't wait for the big pay-per-view, guys, and can't wait for this next edition of Wrestling Challenge. But first, we're going to take this quick WrestleCopia timeout.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
Hey guys, Ray Russell back to talk to you about all the new and exciting audio and video podcasts we've been putting together over at patreon.com/WrestleCopia. As a self-funded brand, this entire ship is powered by our patrons. It's your support that keeps all of these wonderful shows going here at WrestleCopia. And with that said, I wanted to mention that we now have 3 major tiers with tons of Patreon-exclusive next-level content for our Patreon supporters. And it all starts with the $5 all-access tier, which gets you early access to many of the weekly podcasts, at least a dozen monthly digital downloads for your viewing and reading pleasure, the insanely detailed show notes for the Wrestling Memory Grenade Regional Wrestling, and the OG Monday Warfare podcast, plus random bonus video drops, archived old-school audio watch-alongs from the early years of the brand. And if that's not all, the brand new Patreon-exclusive podcast, Ranting Raw, featuring yours truly, Ray Russell, completely uncensored, unfiltered, with honest takes, taking patron questions and addressing various topics from throughout wrestling history. It is a whole lot of fun wrapped under the all-access tier for only $5, but things get even hotter with the VIP Superfan tier. For just a few dollars more, you get everything already mentioned in the all-access tier, plus as part of the VIP tier, a whole new slew of videocast series where it's not just your typical watch-alongs. Sure, we laugh, we have fun, but we're also breaking down the history, the context, and the why behind what you're seeing. And as part of the VIP tier, you have access to Dan Gennety's Puroresu Academy videocast, the Coliseum videocast with co-host Gene Jackson, and the Monday Warfare videocast, Raw vs. Nitro, breaking down the history of the Monday Night War. Plus, you also get the Memphis 1985 folder of goodies and all show notes for the Puro Academy podcast and Gene's retro review show. Lots to be had there at the VIP tier. But wait, there's more. For those WrestleCopia backers who crave even more from the brand, we bring you yet another level of content fit for a warrior, because it is indeed the ultimate tier, which gives you everything from the all-access pass, everything from the VIP tier, plus you will receive access to the big ones video series featuring a lengthy look and discussion into some of the biggest pay-per-views, super shows, and other events from throughout wrestling history. It's also a great place to keep up with the big events that coincide with the Monday Warfare videocast and so many other big events from years gone by. You'll also have access to the newest big hit to the Copia brand. I'm talking about Regional Wrestling Unreal, the video series. Get ready for the next level in regional wrestling as we dissect territory history in video form. Watch along with us. But still, even more for your money, guys. You'll also receive access to the Treasure Chest, which offers patrons the unique opportunity to download and watch select rarities from wrestling history. And for those of you who are wondering what we offer, are contemplating joining a paid Patreon membership, or simply a curious lurker, a reminder there's a free tier at our Patreon that you can join as well. Remember, guys, no subscription, cancel any time, but I think you'll like the content that we're offering there for any budget you may have. And you can sign up right now, patreon.com/WrestleCopia, or look for the QR code where available. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia podcast network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
Hey, it's Bob Smith, and guess what? The Outdated Wrestling Hour is now part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. But hey, no fear, you're still going to hear the unique guests, comedy, music, authors, journalists, funny people. Who knows who's going to end up on the Outdated Wrestling Hour? Remember, it's all new and all old. So check it out in the WrestleCopia Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcasts. Listen if you know what's good for you.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the program as it's time to dive into Wrestling Challenge, February 26th, 1989. All right, it is February 26th Challenge, tape back January 25th, Phoenix, Arizona, Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And as always, Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon on commentary here for Challenge as we head to the ring singles action. Going to see Jake the Snake Roberts battle Daryl Peterson, the future Max Payne. Bobby Heenan questioning on commentary here how Big John Studd can be an impartial referee the way he feels about the Heenan family. Well, that's actually a valid point. We get an insert promo during this Jake match from Andre the Giant, who confirms that he looks forward to facing Jake at WrestleMania, but he doesn't understand John Studd being named the official. But either way, Jake is going down in a giant way come the pay-per-view. Meanwhile, in the ring, Jake working the big man's arm early on. Peterson tries a few escape attempts, but Roberts hanging onto that arm, even landing a beautiful knee lift. Must have learned that from wrestling too. Jake had the best knee lift in the business. Eventually, though, the Snake Man running into a Peterson knee in the corner and the big man taking over, Daryl hammering away on the Snake. But Roberts ducking a big swing and clotheslining Daryl over the top rope out to the floor, getting a monster pop there for Jake Roberts, who drags Peterson back inside and lands that patented DDT to get the win, 2 minutes, 37 seconds. And you best believe some Damien fun following the matchup here at the expense of Daryl Peterson. Andre the Giant, look out. Just a few weeks away from stepping in the ring with the Snake and the Snake. From there, we get a special report. Once again, it's Mean Gene hyping the lineup for WrestleMania. We also get a replay at this point of the $1 Million vignette from Betteridge Jewelers this week, picking up his $1 Million title belt. Then it's back to the ring for tag team action. Brainbusters out there. Bobby Heenan out ringside for this one. Gorilla on solo commentary. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard taking on Ricky Attacky and Louis Spicoli. Give it up, Louis. As we get an insert promo from the Busters here talking about Strikeforce, who are apparently back together again, and they are as good as they come, says Arn Anderson. But the Busters, they thrive on competition. That is true. As we get some great heel teamwork here from the Busters, super aggressive on Ricky Attacky. Louis Spicoli tagging in, and he too gets worked over immediately, though. Heenan distracting the referee to allow Arn and Tully a little outside double teamwork as the Weasel chants begin to sink in from the crowd. Tully then going to slap Attacky to lure him into the ring, which again puts the referee's attention on the other side of the ring on Ricky Attacky, and thus behind the back of the official, it's the spike pile driver on Louis Spicoli. Pure death. Down goes Louis. Loa Louai. Oh my. The Brainbusters going over. 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Looking good are Arn and Tully getting ready to take on Tito and Rick Martel. Sounds like a fun matchup. And Louis Spicoli, an early sighting here from Louis. Gotta love Louis. As we go off now to the event center, Sean Mooney gonna be chatting with the mighty Hercules.
1989 proves to be a real big year for the mighty Hercules. You saw how we dealt with big money. I stand here before you today, still a free man, still with my dignity, my pride intact. Now, in WrestleMania 5, the biggest wrestling event in history to date, the only thing that has escaped me, Bobby, the brain, the weasel, the man, the perpetrator, the man behind everything that's happened to me. But that's okay, Bobby, because it's made me stronger and stronger, and every day I get a little bit stronger. King Haku, let me tell you the reason why. I will be the winner. I will be the victor. You will be the defeated man in WrestleMania 5, because I believe in myself. I believe in my strength. I believe in fate. I believe in destiny, that I exist here today, the sole reason to be the strongest man in the world. Bobby the Brain Heenan, I have never forgotten. I will never forget. King Haku, you will lay in defeat. You will lay at the feet of the mighty Hercules.
The mighty Hercules not impressed by the royalty here in the World Wrestling Federation. I'm talking about King Haku, and the two will clash at WrestleMania 5, Sunday afternoon, April 2nd, an afternoon you absolutely will not want to miss.
Well, there he is, Herc coming for the Heenan family, and it all starts with King Haku at WrestleMania. Before we go back to the ring, we had a feature match on Superstars. Can't be outdone. Feature matchup time here on Wrestling Challenge. Brutus the Barber Beefcake battling Dino Bravo with Frenchy Martin in his corner. And I use that term feature match loosely here. I guess I should have forewarned. Two former team members of Greg Valentine, different members of the Dream Team at one point in time. And we'll try to forget about that as we go. A good 90 seconds of stalling from both sides after the bell. And you know what? With these two guys, I'll take it. Finally, though, they do lock up, and Beefcake flusters Dino Bravo early on, causing the Canadian strongman to bail and regroup outside on the floor. And then back in the ring, Dino with a big forearm to the jaw of the Barber, finally going to take over on the offense with some really awful plotting offense, by the way. Brutus, though, manages to reverse a whip into the corner, catch Bravo bouncing out with the sleeper hold, straight into his finisher, the sleeper. Brutus not screwing around this week, and I got to thank him for that. Dino, though, wisely using the leverage, ducking between the ropes, and both men falling out to the floor. So Dino Bravo basically trying to escape the sleeper by falling outside, but Beefer holding on, and both men wind up taking the bump outside, thus causing the Barber to release the sleeper as both men bump outside on the floor. Dino, though, going to attack Beefcake outside the ring, but missing a clothesline, goes straight into the steel post, does the Canadian. The Barber, though, firing back as referee Tim White makes the 10 count. Your official decision, a double count out. 3 minutes and 51 seconds between the Barber and Dino Bravo. Now, post-match, we see manager Frenchy Martin sneak up behind Brutus Beefcake, but Beefer catching Frenchy, taking him into the ring. And the Barber, with a pair of scissors, begins to cut the hair of Frenchy Martin. Oh, no, no, no. Oui, oui, oui. Sorry, Frenchy. Dino Bravo sneaking in from behind, though, looking to attack Brutus, but Beefcake ready with scissors in hand to defend himself. And both Bravo and Martin flee the ring, but not before Frenchy gets a little haircut. A little off the back, maybe a little off the top there. Brutus Beefcake having a little fun this week with Frenchy Martin, whose days in the WWF are numbered. As at this point in the program, we go back again to Superstars. We get a replay of Randy Savage's My Side promo, number 2. Still in a rage. It did not change here from Superstars to Challenge. Macho Man talking about the fall and his issues with Hulk Hogan over the Survivor Series timeline. Right now, though, we go back to the ring singles action. Going to see Tito Santana take on Jose Estrada. And as the action gets going, we get an insert promo here from Rick Martel, who says WrestleMania 5, no better place to showcase your abilities than WrestleMania. That's why Martel had hoped for a singles match, but he had to settle for a tag team match with Tito. If it has to be, it has to be. Rick Martel says, either way, I'm going to give it 100%. Wow, seeds planted early. And I had never realized this. I don't remember this whatsoever. Bobby Heenan even pointing out the mentioning of he didn't want a team with Tito. Rick Martel wanted a solo match, but he's forced into this tag team match. Bobby pointing this out on commentary. Of course, he's also managing their opponents, the Brainbusters. Meanwhile, Gorilla Monsoon giving Heenan the old, give me a break, Brain. Reading too much into things? I don't know about that, Gorilla. He is the Brain after all. Anywho, we go back to the action for a moment here. Santana and Estrada with 2 Hispanic wrestlers in the ring at the same time. Bobby has a very rare opportunity to mock both at the same time. He states that the winner of this match going to win a little wind-up chihuahua to put in their pinto. Wow, Bobby. Tito, of course, working that ever-so-popular headlock of doom for offense here, much of the match. Estrada coming back, but missing a middle rope diving headbutt. And Tito going to rebound with a pair of drop kicks. And that awesome flying forearm always makes up for those headlocks. Tito with that patented flying forearm getting the win, 2 minutes, 34 seconds here on Jose. And let's go back just quickly here to Rick Martel, the reformation of Strike Force. I had not seen apparently this match or this week of TV, and maybe since it aired. And thus this threw me off, hearing Rick Martel basically foreshadowing things to come here. I do not want the match, the tag team match. I wanted to go solo, prove my abilities. Yes, you know, as a potential model here, if you will. But instead, he doesn't get to showcase his solo abilities. He's going to go back to tag teaming, at least for WrestleMania time. So we'll see how that plays out when we head into the pay-per-view. Right now, though, we go off to a special interview with Lord Alfred Hayes up on the stage, interviewing Mr. Fuji and his Powers of Pain. Fuji stating, remember, it was WrestleMania 4 a year ago that Fuji got the Demolition, the tag team titles. But after that, the Demos had no discipline. They no listen. But now Fuji has the Powers of Pain. They're bigger, they're stronger, and they listen. Very good, boy-san. Along with Mr. Fuji, the Powers of Pain will be the next WWF Tag Team Champions. Aso. Then it's back to the ring singles action. Now Bad News Brown taking on Mark Ming as we get an insert promo here from Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who says, newsflash, WrestleMania 5 It's bad news for Bad News Brown, and it's coming in the form of Hacksaw. Tough guy. Ho! Meanwhile, in the ring, Mark Ming awaiting his opponent, Bad News Brown, up from behind on the floor. Bad News tripping up Ming, dragging him out to the floor, beating him down, sending him into the steel post, and then it's back inside for a little more beatdown before the Ghetto Blaster, putting Mark Ming down. Bad News going over 1 minute and 50 seconds. Now, if you took Bad News Brown and Jim Duggan and stuck him in the old Mid-South ring, oh my gosh, you want to talk about a slobber knocker. Curious to see what they do here in the WWF world leading into WrestleMania, but two brawlers, no better than Bad News and Hacksaw. As we get the replay from Superstars, this time it's Hulk Hogan's side of the story, part 2, and then back to the ring for singles action, ravishing Rick Rude with manager Bobby Heenan, Rude's opponent Tim Horner. I'm sure these two had collided in Jim Crockett promotions, but here in the WWF, it's an interesting choice in Rick Rude's career as he goes for a super perm look. Interesting, ravishing ones. I don't know, it's a little outdated here in 1989, but you tell Rick Rude that. Very super perm is what I called it, but it's like a very tight curl, almost a fake wig, like Mama's Family style, if you know what I'm talking about. Looks like my grandma's hair from that time, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bigger, a little longer than hers, actually. But anywho, we get an insert promo from the Ultimate Warrior during this matchup, who is ready for the challenge of ravishing Rick. The two men, no strangers to each other. Their battles go all the way back to Dallas and World Class. But meanwhile, in the ring here, you want to talk about going back to the NWA, Horner and Rude. Well, they had likely seen each other across the ring there, but here, Horner ready for ravishing Rick, backflipping over a Rude backdrop attempt, and Horner catching Rude with a drop kick and a nice flying head scissors on the ravishing one. Tim Horner, though, going for a running body block, but Rude catching him and turning it quickly into a backbreaker to take control. From there, the ravishing one landing a delayed vertical suplex, putting Horner up in the air with a little hip swivel action while he's holding the suplex. Very cool. Finishing this one off with the Rude Awakening neckbreaker. Going to give Rick Rude the win, 1 minute and 25 seconds. That's a way to make somebody shine. I'm talking about Tim Horner shine in just 90 seconds time before Rude going over looking dominant as ever as well. And then post-match, of course, we get the other Rude Awakening, another lovely lady escorted from the crowd into the ring wearing a Rick Rude t-shirt. So she gets her kiss, and Rick Rude gets a couple bucks kickback there, I would imagine, from the merchandise of that shirt. And remember later on, it was Diesel who said, buy the black glove if you want me to slap your hand in the crowd and try to sell some extra gloves, making that merch money. Very clever, Kevin Nash. But here in 89, wouldn't it have been clever if Rick Rude only kissed the ladies who wore his shirts? You'd have to think there would have been a pretty good sale on Rick Rude shirts. Anywho, we go off to the event center. Sean Mooney standing by with Jimmy Hart and his fabulous Rougeos.
Oh, you know, guys, you're gonna love Atlantic City. It's just fabulous, especially Trump Plaza, where WrestleMania 5 is gonna be held. But you know, we've got these stupid bushwhackers. These guys aren't wrestlers. They're crazy.
Jimmy, you know, this is gonna be the 3rd time for us to go to WrestleMania and the 1st time to be led it by you, Jimmy. And you know what's important about all that? Is after the match and we done beat the bushwhackers, I think they're gonna take a long walk on a short pier. You know what, bushwhackers? You're in for a long day at WrestleMania because, you know, after we put everything together, we've been looking at all the things. I mean, look at the 3 brains over here working together. We were trying to figure out the brains on the other side, and we couldn't find any. I guess 3 brains are better than none.
Oh, I like that, Chuck. I like that. You know, right there in Atlantic City, WrestleMania 5. You know, it's going to be bigger, better than better. You know, I'm so excited. You know, we're all American boys. Maybe we'll play our new song, Going to the Ring, huh?
Sure, and you know what'd be funny, Jimmy? After they lose the match, maybe after they jump off the pier, they should get on a boat and go back to New Zealand.
I wonder if they swim like they walk.
Whoa! Hey, we got a good tip for you guys. Don't bet on the bushwhackers!
Joined by their manager, the mouth that continues to roar, Jacques and Raymond Rougeau, the fabulous Rougeau brothers, as they prepare to face the Bushwhackers at WrestleMania 5.
Well, being on the boardwalk once again for WrestleMania 5, the Bushwhackers going to take a long walk off a short pier, so says the Rougeaus, as Jimmy Hart and Jacques and Raymond make 3 brains, and 3 brains are better than none. Luke and Butch get on a boat and head back to New Zealand. Those evil foreigners, Bushwhackers. Who wants foreigners here in the United States when you got a couple of good old All-American boys like Jacques and Raymond here to defend the country. My goodness. As next week here on Wrestling Challenge, Ted DiBiase will again reveal his $1 million title belt to the Wrestling Challenge crowd as part of a special interview. Plus, we'll see Mr. Perfect in action. The Rockers will be here. Big John Studd in a handicap match. Plus the Mighty Hercules, the Powers of Pain, and the tag team of the Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine. All here next week on Wrestling Challenge. Well, we heard from Demolition on Brother Love on Superstars, Powers of Pain and Fuji here on Wrestling Challenge. Pretty much all wrestlers on syndicated TV this entire weekend have already had matches announced for WrestleMania 5. And don't think that was done by accident, guys. Plus the $1 million belt to be unveiled next week. And even more from the Mega Powers. More Mega Power promos to come, guys. Can't wait for that. And Gorilla Monsoon here on commentary, even promising us the entire card for WrestleMania 5 to be announced right here next week on TV. So, wow, some really fun times right now to be a fan in the WWF 1989. And luckily I was blessed to have lived it, to have been there, and to share so many memories, not just of my own, but with my brother and my cousins and friends and even some other podcasters out here of our times, during this era. And it's been a great time. As we've got one more piece of business to wrap up here this week to close out the month of February 1989, going back to the February 27th edition of Primetime Wrestling with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan.
Welcome to Primetime Wrestling. I'm Gorilla Monsoon, and I'm your host, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Why aren't you sitting over here, then? I like it over here. Let's talk about WrestleMania 5, Brain. The entire wrestling world is buzzing, humming, smoking right now about some of the matches already signed up for WrestleMania 5. Hulkster looking to get his crown back, his title.
It's not his title. Belongs to the World Wrestling Federation.
It was formerly his title.
Well, he owned it for a few years, a few lucky years. I'm not knowing partial to Savage.
3 to be exact.
Excuse me, I'm not partial to Savage either, but he did defend it a lot during 1988. And
everyone concerned about where Miss Elizabeth will be.
Not everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
I'm not.
Well, everyone of
I'm curious to see where she is. I'm not concerned about
Macho Man claiming that she, in fact, will be in his corner.
Well, then I'm going to have
to... Highly unlikely. I don't think that's going to happen, Brian.
You think she's going to be in Hulk's corner?
I would say that at this particular point in time, yes.
See, now I wouldn't know what to do in that situation. What if
you never know
Ravishing Rick Rude went against Andre the Giant? They're both members of the family. I wouldn't know what corner to be in. I'd have to take myself out of the picture.
You'd stand in the middle and walk the line like you usually do, right?
You mean cheer for
A lot
lunch?
of your guys are on this program this week.
That's correct.
Haku was in the feature against Rick Martel.
That's right.
Plus a whole lot of other guys.
That's right.
I understand you've been making some references to Mr. Perfect. Perhaps trying to get him into the Heenan family?
I didn't say that. I'm saying
I said that. Didn't you just hear me?
Roll it.
We're going to go to our opening match right now. Let's take a look at the dynamic Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Big intro there. Primetime Wrestling talking all about the upcoming big event. What else but WrestleMania 5. Hulk Hogan looking to get his title belt back, says Gorilla. A little bias there, Gorilla. Hogan's title back? Going to get it back? I don't know about that. Also discussing the Mega Power situation, the lovely Miss Elizabeth, and of course, tonight's lineup here on Primetime Wrestling. Also hinting that Bobby Heenan may be trying to get Mr. Perfect into his Heenan family. Love that idea, but that might take a while, Bobby. As it is hard selling 101 this week for WrestleMania, we also get 3 exclusive matches, including 2 of them taped February 16th, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Hershey Park Arena, with commentators Lord Alfred Hayes and holy shit, Tony Schiavone! Tony Schiavone on commentary here in the World Wrestling Federation. Tony is here, and I'm looking forward to being with Tony here for the next year in the WWF on the Grenade. As we go to the ring, we see Ronnie Garvin battling Outlaw Ron Bass to a double countout. Woof, there's a match. Garvin and Bass would not have been pretty even 5 years prior, but a double countout. Both men fighting on the floor. Match goes 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And when they come back in to the studio after the matchup, Bobby Heenan quipping that he thinks they both stink. That's Garvin and Bass. Think about that. And it usually marks the end of a heel's run when Heenan begins to bury them on camera. He did it for a few others in the past, and he's doing it here for Ron Bass, who is basically finished up with the company by mid-March. We also see a matchup involving Hillbilly Jim. Don't get too much Hillbilly here on TV. Scoring a pinfall over Barry Horowitz. Big boot to the face. Takes Horowitz down. Horowitz loses. Horowitz loses. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? Hillbilly Jim going over 2 minutes and 20 seconds there. And then also taped January 25th, Phoenix, Arizona. Powers of Pain defeating the team of Sam Houston and Stephon De Leon, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Barb hitting De Leon with that clothesline, their version of the Doomsday Device. Warlord holding De Leon up in that bear hug. Barb coming off the top rope with the clothesline, taking him down. And, you talk about writing on the wall for the Outlaw Ron Bass when Bobby Heenan begins to bury a heel. Also writing on the wall when you're Sam Houston and you're relegated to teaming with a straight-up job guy. So, again, writing on the wall for Sam Houston, one of many that's about to see the door here come WrestleMania 5 time. But that's going to wrap it up here this week on the Grenade program. Guys, we're going to be back soon. I've got lots of guests lined up and planned, lots of people chomping at the bit, lots of people hitting me up wanting to be part of the WrestleMania 5 rundown. They want to help talk all about it, their memories. So we will likely have a few of them pop up here over the next several weeks building up to WrestleMania on the Grenade program, and we will likely have a few involved in some other fun things we have planned as well, heading into the big explosion of the Mega Powers. But that is going to wrap it up here this week. I want to thank everybody for their patience. Once again, your support behind the scenes and everything we had going on here as a family and me and my own personal health. More updates on all of that to come in the weeks to come. I just wanted to get something back out here and give you guys something to listen to, enjoy, and see that we are back up and running. And looking forward to doing this with you guys as we continue on into the month of March 1989 in the World Wrestling Federation. Till next time, this is Ray Russell saying from pillar to post and coast to coast. You pull the pin, I'll pick up the pieces right here on the Wrestling Memory Grenade. I'll see you next week. Don't miss it. Be there!
Gonna steal the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt. Oh no, you're not, Hulk Hogan, no. Because when I climb through those ropes, and when you take a look at the Madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter